So, you're with a new woman, and things are going great. You're building something special, something that feels real. But there's always that shadow, isn't there? The ghost of relationships past, her ex. You've probably heard the highlight reel, or maybe the horror stories, but what about the things she doesn't say? The truths that are tucked away, not because she's being deceptive, but because they're complicated, personal, and maybe even a little messy. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the 7 things she'll almost certainly never tell you about her ex. And trust me, understanding these will give you a completely new perspective on the woman you're with. Let's start with a big one. He wasn't always the bad guy. It's easy to paint an ex as a villain. It simplifies the narrative and makes the breakup easier to process. She might tell you about the arguments, the neglect, or the final, explosive fight that ended it all. But what she'll likely leave out are the good times. The inside jokes that made them laugh until they cried. The way he knew exactly how to comfort her after a bad day. The dreams they built together, even if they never came to fruition. Acknowledging the good doesn't invalidate the bad. It just makes it more human. She's not hiding this to protect him. She's hiding it to protect herself from the pain of what was lost. She knows that if she admits how great things were at one point, it makes the ending that much more tragic. It's a silent acknowledgement that something beautiful fell apart, and that's a heavy truth to carry, let alone share. This leads us to a truth that might make you a little uncomfortable. She still compares you to him. Now, before you get defensive, understand this. It's not a competition, it's a calibration. Her past relationship is her most recent, significant data point for what works and what doesn't. When you do something that he never did, like actively listening to her vent about her day without trying to solve her problems, she notices. That's a point for you. When you fall into a pattern that feels eerily similar to a negative one from her past, a quiet alarm bell goes off in her head. She's not looking for a carbon copy of him, or even his polar opposite. She's using her past experiences to appreciate the unique things you bring to the table, and to be wary of red flags she might have missed before. It's a subconscious process, a way of navigating a new relationship with a map forged in the fires of the old one. She'll never tell you this because she knows how it sounds. She doesn't want you to feel like you're being measured or judged. But in reality, these silent comparisons are often what allow her to see you and appreciate you more clearly. Now, let's talk about habits. She learned some of her best and worst relationship habits from him. Relationships are like intensive training programs for how to coexist with another human being. Maybe her ex was a neat freak, so now she's incredibly tidy, a habit that you benefit from. Or perhaps he was terrible with money, which forced her to become a master of budgeting. These are the positive adaptations. But on the flip side, she might have picked up some defensive mechanisms that are less than ideal. If he was hypercritical, she might now be overly sensitive to feedback, assuming any critique is a personal attack. If he was emotionally distant, she might have a tendency to pry or push for emotional connection, afraid of being shut out again. These are not reflections of who you are, but scars from battles she's already fought. She won't tell you, "I do this because my ex did that," because she might not even be consciously aware of the connection herself. Or, if she is, she doesn't want to sound like she's blaming her past for her present behavior. It's up to you to have the patience to understand that some of her reactions aren't about you at all, but are echoes of a conversation that ended long before you arrived. This next one is subtle, but powerful. There are small, random things that will always remind her of him. It could be a song that comes on the radio, the smell of a particular cologne, or driving past a restaurant where they had their first date. These aren't moments of longing or regret. They're more like involuntary memory muscle twitches. For a fleeting second, she's transported back in time. You might see a flicker of an expression on her face, a brief shadow of sadness, a ghost of a smile, and then it's gone. She'll never say, "That song reminds me of a road trip I took with my ex," because what's the point? It would only create an awkward moment and potentially make you feel insecure. It doesn't mean she misses him or wishes she was back with him. It's just a testament to the fact that when you share a significant portion of your life with someone, they leave indelible marks on your sensory landscape. These moments are hers alone. tiny footnotes in her personal history that she navigates silently without ever needing to give you a guided tour. Now for a seemingly contradictory point. She doesn't hate him as much as she says she does, or she hates him more. The emotions surrounding a breakup are rarely black and white. If she speaks about her ex with a fiery, passionate hatred, there's a good chance that anger is a shield, protecting a softer, more vulnerable core of hurt. That level of intensity often signifies unresolved feelings. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. So if she's still angry, it means there's still a part of her that's processing the pain. Conversely, if she speaks about him with a cool, detached, "I wish him all the best," she might be downplaying the depth of the betrayal or hurt she actually experienced. She might be putting on a brave face for you and for herself, because appearing to be over it feels like a victory. The true emotional temperature of her feelings about her ex is a complex and often fluctuating thing. She won't give you an accurate reading because she's probably still trying to figure it out for herself. The sixth thing she'll never tell you is that the way their relationship ended still affects her. Breakups are not clean cuts. They leave jagged edges. If he cheated on her, she might have trust issues that she's fighting every day to overcome with you. If he left her suddenly, without explanation, she might have a deep-seated fear of abandonment, causing her to cling a little too tightly at times. If it was a long, drawn-out mutual decision, she might struggle with indecisiveness, terrified of making the wrong choice again. The end of a relationship is a formative experience. It shapes her beliefs about love, commitment, and loss. She won't sit you down and give you a psychological profile of her breakup trauma, because that's a heavy burden to place on a new partner. She wants to build a new future with you, not be defined by the wreckage of her past. But that wreckage is still there, and it informs the way she navigates the new territory you're exploring together. Understanding this can transform moments of confusion into moments of compassion. And that brings us to the final and perhaps most important thing she'll never tell you. She's secretly afraid of repeating the same mistakes with you. Every new relationship begins with a mix of hope and fear. The hope is that this time, it will be different. The fear is that it won't. She's afraid that the same communication breakdowns will happen, that the same incompatibilities will surface, or that she herself will fall back into old, destructive patterns. This fear can manifest in strange ways. She might pull away when you get too close, or she might initiate a small argument to test your reaction. She's not trying to sabotage the relationship. She's trying to protect her heart. She's seen this movie before, and she's terrified of the same ending. She will never articulate this fear to you directly, because to do so would be to give it power. It would be like admitting that she believes this new, beautiful thing you're building is already doomed. So instead, she holds that fear silently, hoping with everything she has that you are the one who will help her write a different ending. So there you have it, the unspoken truths that live in the space between her past and her present. The point of all this isn't to make you paranoid or to encourage you to dig into your history. It's the opposite. It's about understanding that her heart is a more complex place than you might realize. It's about having the wisdom to see that her past has shaped her, but it doesn't have to define her future with you. By understanding the things she can't say, you can become a better partner, one who is patient, compassionate, and secure enough to know that you're not in a competition with a ghost. You're building something new, on fresh ground. And that's all that really matters. What do you think? Are there any other unspoken truths you've encountered? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into the complexities of modern relationships. This is Goodbye, Mr. Nice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.